Inside Life with Erica episode 2 was a far improvement of the episode 1. It was even almost very emotional. It almost got me very emotional. However, my emotions were cut short at some point because of something I saw and noticed, which I'm going to share with you guys on this video. So please watch till the end of this video to get more gist about my little revelation. I also noticed a disconnect in the story along the line, which I'm also going to share. But before I do that, I'm going to give you guys a synopsis of what episode 2 was all about. Now, if you had watched episode 1 of the show, Erica had mentioned that a day to her birthday, she was meant to be on set of a movie that they were putting together to release soon in the market. The location was to be Delta State, I think Asaba or Delta State, yeah. So she had gone on the trip and we saw her on set mingling with other actors, and then she also mingled with some of her fans, and then she came back to Lagos. According to her, she could not do a birthday anywhere else. I mean, not with all the plans that she had put together. Now, most of what we saw in this episode was more of Erica's preparation for her birthday party. She went for fittings with her stylist. Her stylist is actually known to also be styling Tacha. So she went for her fitting. Apparently, there were 1 or 2 adjustments that needed to be done on the dress. And then I think before she even went for that, that was when she saw that her picture had been used to create a billboard along the Lekki Ikoyi Link Bridge, and she was pretty much excited about it. That was kudos to some of her diehard fans who were trying to serenade her hours to her birthday. So that pretty much put up a lot of excitement in her. And after fittings, then it happened that it rained, so the rain was almost going to disrupt her birthday arrangement and everything, so that got her really emotional. But at the end of the day, the rain stopped and her birthday happened. She had already had a birthday brunch with some of her fans who had given her a keke and a pep and given her 1 or 2 other gifts. Yes, although those gifts were quite controversial, as at the time that they were announced on social media, some people who cared went to do their research and came to say that, oh, those stocks and bonds and whatever from Elon Musk and other billionaires of the world were actually fake. I don't know. I had no idea. I did not even bother to waste my time to go and do any research as well, because hey, for me, happiness is free. So if anybody's going to do anything to maintain a status and to put themselves in a certain light, all well and good for them. Anyways, she had her birthday dinner and then they had an after party afterwards. Now, all through the party, I was just guys, to be very honest, I was just looking at Darren, the way he was all over the place, the way he was carrying the birthday on his head, and I'm like, why does this guy have to be everywhere? Why? But as I said at the beginning of this video, this episode was way better than episode 1. Yes, it did not seem overly rushed like episode 1. However, as I said, there were some disconnects here and there. Now, the first disconnect that I noticed was, if you had watched episode 1, after the episode, there were some snippets of what was going to happen in episode 2 that were shown to us, and one of such events in that snippet was Erica having dinner with a strange young man, and a lot of people were quite interested to know the identity of the guy. Who is this guy? What were they talking about? Stuff like that. I was actually expecting to see that scene in episode 2 as a continuation of what they had advertised to us in episode 1, but it did not really happen. So I was wondering, like, okay, are we going to see that in another episode, or is that completely scrapped out of the entire show? Well, let's wait and see if we're going to see that happen in any other episode. Now, another thing that I noticed, Erica's happiness all through her confessionals seemed quite genuine. Like, you could feel it that she was really excited, talking about plans for her birthday, preparations for her birthday. She was all smiles all through, and it was quite infectious. But when she got to the part where she was talking about how it had started raining and the rain was disrupting all her birthday arrangements, she was really scared that all the VVIP people she invited might not be able to make it or show up, or they might be disappointed by the rain and the impromptu of the whole tardiness of it all. In the show, I mean the actual video we're watching in the show, She was crying in the car. She had messed up her makeup and her makeup artist was trying to touch up her makeup. But in her confessionals, she seemed quite okay. But then I noticed that it felt like she was trying to force out that emotion of tears. And it was quite off for me when she was talking about, I mean, it's my birthday, you know, and then she was doing like this. And I'm like, come on, girl, don't spoil this for me. I've been enjoying all your vibes all through. Why are you trying to fake tears? Why are you trying to act like you're crying when you're not? To be very honest, you see that disconnect I talked about, that it was always going to provoke me to tears, but then my tears was cut short along the way. It was that part that I watched because it just completely reminded me of the same old thing that Fswg did in her own reality TV show. It's like, listen guys, let's be very realistic. If you watch reality TV shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, those people, they have mastered the art. It's an art now for them. They've mastered the art and the act of pushing out tears from their eyes, guys. Like when people are talking about anything as little as maybe their makeup or something, they are not crying, but they are doing like, what are you wiping? What are you cleaning from your eyes? You know, so when I watched Fswg's own reality TV show, I noticed that she did the same thing. It's like you're trying to provoke the audience to feel sorry for you or to feel your pain. But I believe that there are so many ways of relating your pains or relaying your pains to your viewing audience, and they will also connect. Sometimes you don't really have to cry. If the tears are not coming, you don't have to force it. So when I watched Erica doing that, I just lost it. I'm like, nah, this is the same thing that the Kims and the Courtneys and the Chloes do in their own reality TV show, and babe, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. I'm already seeing the rain trying to disrupt your party, and I'm already feeling bad. So I got the message, I got the connection, I could relate. So trying to do that, guys, I'm sorry, but it just came across as fake to me, and I wasn't buying into that particular scene. So I just had to skip. Moving on to the Darren part. I have a love-hate relationship with Darren's personality. I do not know Darren one-on-one, but Darren has a reputation, and that reputation gets ugly during BB Naija shows. Now, during BB Naija shows, Darren is fond of choosing camp with maybe the villain or the victim or whoever. He's very fond of choosing camps, and this guy has eyes for projections, future projections. Like while watching the show, Darren is one who is very known for following the trends or being a trendsetter, of course, in the entertainment industry, especially in fashion. So when Darren watches the show, I feel like this guy is able to predict which person is going to be more controversial on the show, and the moment he's able to identify that person, he picks camp with that particular person. It happened during the double wahala period. It happened during the Pepper Dem Gang season when I think he was really bashing Thatcher during the Pepper Dem Gang season, and one would think that Darren and Thatcher, they will never see eyeball to eyeball, but it now happens that after all the bashing and all the insults and all the crazy things he said about Thatcher, much later, we were now seeing Darren and Thatcher as friends. I was wondering, like, okay, what's going on? Now, during the lockdown period, there was also that kind of controversy surrounding Darren as well. Darren and Uti Nwachukwu, both of them, they are always caught up in that bubble of negativity during BB Naija because they are always looking for the most controversial person or potentially controversial housemate to show support to, and when the person comes out of the house, immediately they strike up a relationship with the person, they become close friends with the person, they literally hang out with the person everywhere and anywhere the person is going to. In fact, they stand as the person's bestie. They are very fond of doing that, and it has made me kind of wary of their personalities because anytime I see them in my head, all I'm seeing is showmanship everywhere. You know, we're just doing it because it's the culture, it's entertainment, this is how it's done in the business. Guys, when I saw Darren anchoring Erica's party, you know, doing everything, I'm just like, okay, I'm sorry, but this is not just going well with me at all. I felt that way because, hey, another season of Big Brother Naija is about to start, and we know what's going to happen. The process is going to start again. There's always going to be one or two controversial housemates, and these set of people, they are going to switch camps again, and loyalties will switch again, and they would start, you know, the same hypings that they are doing currently for Erica. It's going to be a continuous process. So when I see such things happening, I just feel really sad, because at the end of the day, we need genuine people around us, not people who come into our lives because of the fame and the popularity that we've been able to gather at that moment. Because once the fame begins to fizzle out, they will definitely look for greener pastures. So that was what I saw when the really was just all over Erica, all over the place. I just felt like, nah, this is not just it for me. I can't deal. But overall, as I said, this episode was quite entertaining. It was quite interesting. I preferred this episode 100% to episode 1, and I am looking forward to seeing episode 3. I'm looking forward to seeing what Erica has in store for us. We've already seen snippets of episode 3 where she was working out in the gym with Kidwire and Dorothy, and I think Praise was also in the picture. So let's see how it goes. Let's see what they are up to, and I will definitely give you guys my analysis of it. I will see you all on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Glory. Have an amazing day. Bye.